Hello people, Stephen Ellis here, farmer, Eastern Virginia. Have a restaurant. My son is opening a produce market beside the restaurant. We'll be growing corn, soybeans, wheat, and barley. We'll have produce. We hunt, we fish, we work on fast cars, we play with the markets and commodities, and we hopefully will have something interesting to show you over the next few months as I try to document a crazy life that is gotten crazier with COVID times, but maybe the world will open up and we can end up with a big party at the end of the year. Follow along if you will. Thanks. This is Stephen Ellis with your Agronomy tour. I'm going to show off cover crops here in Eastern Virginia. We've been doing cover crops for 20 years, and the theory behind it is that the nitrogen that would normally leak down and get into the water table is used up by a crop that's growing in the winter. It pulls it back up. Mainly this rye crop here will use the nitrogen that's trying to get away, bring it to the top. When we go to plant our next crop, we will spray it. The organic matter that's up here will die. It will then be transferred back into the soil. So, but my combination here is also some radishes that they call tillage radishes. Those are already dying, but I'm going to try to find one that hasn't yet. Let's see if I can pull it up. That one broke off too. What they do is grow down, and these little roots grow even further. And so then we have, basically they call it a tillage radish. They can break up the hard pan, especially with the rye. That'll break up the hard pan and make the next crop work better without us having to do tillage, because we've been continuous no-till. And the final piece of the puzzle is clover. This one is crimson clover. I feel like that is a important thing on this St. Patrick's Day. Look and see if I can find a 4-leaf one real quick. Nothing's jumped out at me. But the clover will produce its own nitrogen and leave a little bit behind. That kind of offsets what we're doing with the rye trying to scavenge as much, and therefore when you plant the next crop in, there's some ready available nitrogen there, as well as the decomposing nitrogen that'll come out of the rye. And all this put together is a pretty neat concept that works long term. We're trying to do sustainable agriculture. This would be one of the fields where I try to grow me some 300 bushel corn, or maybe 100 bushel beans. I haven't decided the rotation right here yet, but because of this, I have a good start for either. So here's where a lot of my work gets tied up doing, in the 17 South restaurant, and also the Rising Creek Market, which we'll go see now. So this is just getting going. We had it open a month last year, and then he had to go back to college. My middle son is doing this, so this is where we're going to be rolling with a grand opening soon. We'll go over here and see what the greenhouse is doing. It's been cold and damp the last couple days, so we don't know what we're doing with that yet, but we've got to start, and we're going to get some stuff, and he's going to be planting produce for us. Something's really cool that he had learned is these buckets of water that help regulate the heat. They hold heat in the evenings, and then when it gets hot in the day, they still cool. So kind of makes things a little more level. Like I said, we're just getting going. He's got stuff up, and a lot of cold season stuff. Hadn't been a bad start to stuff coming up, but a little behind, but different things he just got planted, and then other things that are doing pretty good. Alright, I'll show you the restaurant real quick before it gets too busy in there. I don't have my stick with me today, so I don't have great production values where I can get my face in it all the time, but my face isn't that pretty, so I don't think y'all gonna miss that. Alright, see you over at the restaurant. Bye. And that's how close we are to the highway. You got to see the inside of the restaurant before lunch. And this is where we're gonna lay black plastic and drip line and have our produce that's closest to the restaurant, where we can actually just walk right at the restaurant and grab something, go back in, wash it off, and use it. So it's a pretty neat little concept not everybody has. Like I said, I'll introduce you to Logan over time. He'll be the one that manages all this, and we will have, of course, some other acres, you know, different places where he grows stuff for the produce market. But this is pretty cool because it's where we started with it before we had a stand, where we would just grow stuff, mainly, you know, peppers, zucchini, squash, and stuff that we can walk right out here, like I said, and put it right into the restaurant. So it's a whole new meaning of farm to table, because it literally, a few months out the year, everything can just be as literally, are you out of something? No, I am not, and walk back out here and pick it. So I hope you can follow that over time too. Welcome to your Hedge Marketing Minute. It is St. Patrick's Day, March 17th. This is what I call the Pollyanna phase of marketing, where all the acres are available. We're going to have record acres and, of course, trend record yields on that. And so there's no reason to worry about anything, you know, other than we're selling all the commodities that we don't have so far. But at this point of the year, everything kind of levels out until we, you know, get into planting, and the world just says, you know, oh yeah, we've got maximum acres, maximum yield, we're going to be fine, don't worry about it. And then planting starts and real weather hits, and all of a sudden somebody will get scared. It's either too wet, too dry. You'll get a little bounce to make sure that the acres are all planted, and then it'll settle back down in May, and you kind of sit and wait, and then all of a sudden the real weather will hit, and then, oh my goodness, it's going to be hot in Dubuque on Thursday for 6 hours, and it scares the market, and everything jumps up 25-30 cents, which you know, maybe 40 or 50 this year, with, you know, starting from a bigger base. Prices move in percentages more so than, you know, just straight 10 cent, 20 cent. So we're going to have marketing opportunities. The world hasn't produced a North American crop yet, even the Northern Hemisphere crop. We'll have scares, just like the Brazil and Argentina have had. Don't try to sell everything right now in the phase of maximum acres, maximum yield. There will be another time. Just sit back, have a drink, read, listen, plan on growing the best crop you can. And this has been your Hedge Marketing Minute on Wednesday. You got to get marketing to it, you know, because that's the attention that you'll get if you're on the radio. But YouTube, different. One of the things that is going to be the most fun is if I make it this long. It's in the fall. We hunt with hounds. It's the coolest thing you can do. And the fact that I can get a few videos of that and add on to the farm and keep this thing in the restaurant and keep it going year round may be a lot of fun. Like I said, hunting and fishing is what I like to do. I do everything else so I can afford to do them. But that's 2 of my 7 hounds. They're all excited. They want to be fed every time they see me, but they're doing good. And this is where we come from. This wasn't particularly my drill, but I have a drill, and my father grew up using a drill. He is 84, and that's Lala. He's a good dog. But we have stuff scattered all over the farm where I can show you some old equipment versus the new equipment and how things have changed, especially in certain people's lifetimes, like my dad's.